Today we're going on a tour through one of the most impressive places on El Hierro Island.
We start at the legendary Charco Azul.
Then we continue on to the wild Playa del Verodal.
From there, we head to the hermitage of the Virgin of Los Reyes, the spiritual heart of El Hierro and one of the most beloved places for the islanders. We continue on to the legendary Faro de Orchilla, where the ancient world ends. And
we ended the day by swimming in the crystal clear waters of Altacoron Beach. Join us! Day 2 in El Hierro. Let's go to one of the most well-known pools and one we've heard about the most, the blue pool. This one also requires walking. Just a note that we found a bit curious. We have hardly found any trash bins or garbage containers in the places we visited, especially at the beaches. Something to keep in mind, we still have our trash inside the camper, of course, waiting to find a container somewhere so we can throw things away. Today, we had to come up with a new carrier for Luna because it's tricky when we have to walk a lot with her. Let me remind you that she's blind and deaf, so we can't walk her on a leash. We have to carry her like this. Fortunately, she's super calm.
if she adapts, it'll go great. So let's see how the first journey goes.
Great, let's see what awaits us. Well, for now, that's all we have to unload. The sea is expected to be quite rough today, even worse than yesterday, when we couldn't swim in pools like Los Argos because the sea was so bad. But anyway, if that's the only little pool, it looks pretty good. I think there's another one down there under the little cave anyway. We're about to find out, but for now, let's go down the stairs.
In this section here, there aren't any stairs, but rather a super steep slope, whether you're going up or down, depending on your direction. And if you trip, you'll go rolling down.
Since the steps are high and the lava ground is completely porous and uneven in size, when you go down your ankle, so you have to go down. Very carefully, not just because of the steepness, look how beautiful it is, but also because of how dangerous it is for those of us with weak ankles, like me. It's so beautiful. Honestly, it looks like a swimming pool, but it's actually a completely natural pool made by nature itself. And we read an interesting story that says mermaids use the blue pool as a spa. A legend, obviously, but who doesn't like to believe it? As you can see, it's completely volcanic. We've seen it all the way down, and you can see it in all the rocks around the pool. And they say that at the end of the day, when the sun sets, the light turns completely turquoise. It's spectacular. You can see the fish, of course. As we said, we're in one of the cleanest waters in the world, and we're going to enjoy it to the full. It's without a doubt the most photographed pool in El Hierro, so it will look familiar to many. Although the tide is low right now and you can't see the sun's color I mentioned earlier with its characteristic turquoise blue, this is one of the most well-known parts of Charco Azul. Not just the natural pool we photographed and filmed a little while ago, but also this small pool. This sort of cave in the sea, which must be very dangerous when the sea is rough or the tide is high.
Look at these spectacular views. But look at this, what a marvel, simply created by nature, absolutely impressive. The rock is a very sharp volcanic rock with a rough texture. Spectacular. At one time it was at temperatures of several hundreds of degrees.
Well, you just finished the 5,000 steps. You have to go down They say it's one of the most beautiful natural pools in the Canary Islands, but today it looks like someone drank them dry. We got here at low tide. High tide doesn't start until 9 at night and lasts until 7 in the morning, so all day today the tide will be low. Well, I don't know if we'll have the same luck everywhere we go.
We're changing locations, heading somewhere else to see if we enjoy it as much as this one. Another swim, since that's what the day is for.
Important. When you're in the north of El Hierro, in the Frontera area, which is where most of the natural pools are, don't let what happened to us happen to you. Always check the tides carefully so this doesn't happen to you. Going to a pool and finding it empty is no fun. We're heading to Verodal Beach, one of El Hierro's gems, which combines wild beauty with a hint of danger. Just getting to Verodal is an adventure in itself. You have to go down a road that winds through volcanic mountains and landscapes that look like they're from another planet. Suddenly you're there. The Atlantic appears right in front of you, with that stunning blue that contrasts with the red sand. Yes, volcanic red sand, the most famous on El Hierro. Its reddish color comes from ancient volcanic eruptions, so it's like swimming in the geological history of the island. It's a spectacular place, great for photos, but be careful, the sea here is no joke. Sometimes access is closed because the cliffs are so steep that rocks often fall onto the road. In other words, nature here reminds you who's in charge. When it's open, just getting there is already part of the experience. Winding roads, views of the endless ocean, and that silence you only find on El Hierro. Don't expect sun lounges or beach bars here, just the pure tranquility of El Hierro Island. That said, it's quite a windy area. Be very careful with the tide, the beach is very dangerous. As you may have seen on the sign we just posted, swimming is strictly prohibited at all times, all year round. You can't swim here. We are going to take a quick dip, taking advantage of the calm sea. But you can never trust the Atlantic. The sea might look calm, but it can have a strong undertow. Avoid it, don't put yourself at risk. The news about this little beach is that there's a picnic area in the shade. Plus, there's plenty of parking, so it's well equipped. Access to the beach is a bit tricky, but it's very close. What do you think? Amazing. Now we're off to eat at one of the best places on El Hierro. Along a super narrow road surrounded by nothing but lava. We're now heading to the Hermitage of the Virgin of the Kings and the Horchilla Lighthouse. In this area, there's no cell coverage at all and the road is extremely narrow. Keep that in mind when you come to visit this part of the island. The road is not for those who are afraid of heights. In the distance, you can see the Horchilla Lighthouse, which isn't just any lighthouse. It's almost a symbol of the island, surrounded by history, curiosities, and even mystery. It is located at the westernmost point of El Hierro Island, and for centuries it was believed to be the end of the known world. The landscape is volcanic, arid, and very different from the rest of the island, pure lava and wild sea. The road is still narrow, not suitable for all types of drivers. And if you come in a van like we did, well, you know what to expect. Look. However, we have recovered mobile coverage, which is a relief. Before Greenwich became famous, the prime meridian was here, in Horchilla. For centuries, maps placed zero right at this spot. It's so secluded that at night, it's one of the best places on the island to see the stars. In fact, El Hierro is a starlight reserve, and Horchilla is like a cosmic viewpoint. How about that? Until the Canary Islands were completed with La Palma and La Gomera on European maps, Horchilla was literally the edge of Europe. Its original optics came from France and operated on oil. Nowadays, it's already modernized, but in the beginning, everything was manual and required a lot of effort. Construction began in 1924, and it was inaugurated in 1933. I don't even want to imagine what it must have been like from 1924 until its inauguration in 1933 to bring materials to this volcanic corner when there were barely any roads. There are hardly any even today. Although it's closed to the public, it's a must-see if you're in El Hierro, and they say you can see some spectacular sunsets from here. So plan your route to end the day here. We are at the sanctuary of the Virgin of the Kings, one of the most important symbols for the people of El Hierro. The procession is held every 4 years, and coincidentally this year, in 2025, it just took place last July. We're going to enter the current sanctuary, but let me tell you an interesting anecdote first. The Virgin ended up here by chance because in 1546, some Portuguese sailors who had run out of supplies stopped on the island, and some local shepherds gave them food. In gratitude, they left the Virgin here. As I mentioned a moment ago, every 4 years, during the famous procession of the Virgin of the Kings, she is carried from the sanctuary to Valverde, covering 28 kilometers.
I got facts over tracks, this and that, speak slow, speak fast, I can roast, I can gas, think I'm okay and that, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness.
See what I mean? The sanctuary hasn't always been here.
No, it was kept in a cave until the sanctuary was built in 1577.
As we told you at the beginning of the video, this is where we start our journey through Europe. So besides buying a small Virgin of the Kings to protect us on our journey, we're going to dedicate this beautiful prayer to her and light a candle so she can protect and accompany us throughout the trip. Once again going down. This time we're heading to Altacoron, also known as Tecoron, which is a cove in the southeast of the island within the municipality of El Pinar, about 5 kilometers from El Pinar and 9 from La Restinga. It is part of the Frontera Rural Park and is included in the marine reserve around Punta de la Restinga, Mar de las Calmas. And it's from here, watching the sunset while we swim, that we say goodbye to our second day on this magical island. Don't miss the third and final video of our adventure through El Hierro, where we'll discover more unique and charming spots.